Mike, the players are expressing, all the confidence they have in you as a goaltender. I wonder if you flip it around and just talk about what you saw there today. It looked like a playoff style game where they fell behind a couple of times and kept their cool and found a way to grind one out.
Yeah, absolutely. A commitment to winning. And it takes everybody. It's not a one-man show. It takes your whole team. You're not going to win or go very far with one or two players. So I think it takes a group to be successful in this league and to have parity. Um, the guys did a tremendous job tonight just to hang with it and make sure that we're controlling what we can. And we got some big goals there, and obviously a big one by Cap at the end there on the power, and gets us another 2 points, which is huge for a group.
And sorry, I was going to say. Oh, is it helpful to? I mean, Calgary was. They had a chance to maybe wiggle their way into it a little bit. Now you put them 12 points behind. You don't have to worry about them anymore. Is that a factor into this? And you can just kind of worry about who's ahead instead of who's behind you.
I mean, more about us. I think we didn't play as well as we wanted to in Montreal, and we wanted to rebound with a better effort tonight. And I thought right off the get go we were humming pretty good, and got behind a couple of times and were able to come back and get in the game, and then push it along and able to get the third one. But we've done a good job to separate ourselves from the pack a little bit, and we want to continue to do that and give teams kind of no hope that are out of the playoffs right now and looking in. So I think that's been the main focus of our group, just to kind of keep pushing forward, and we want to be playing our best hockey going into the playoffs, and it's not a switch you can just turn off and on. So I think we want to continue to play well.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Like, tell us about us media guys and hockey people talk about the goalie that doesn't let the next one in. In a 2-2 game, you really got the feeling that 3 might be enough tonight, and you don't let the next one in. Do goalies think that way, or do we just think that way?
You guys think a lot of ways. That I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously a mindset you have to have. I think it's when the other team gets a lead, you obviously don't want it to get out of reach where you feel like your team can't come back in the game. And I think when you're just down a goal, obviously your team's still far from done, and I think that's one thing that's been exciting about our group this year is you feel like even when you're down maybe 1 or 2 goals, you're just one shot away from getting back in the game. So I think, and we're capable of doing that, and we've shown that. So I think our group knows that when we're down, we can come back, and when we have the lead, we can close games out. And you got to find, we've talked about it all year. We got to find different ways to win hockey games, and we've been doing that all season long. And it's great for our confidence going into the most important games.
Your GM last summer went after Jacob Markstrom hard, didn't get him, signed you, and your numbers are crushing Markstrom this year. Is that a personal thing for you, or is that just happenstance?
Could care less.
Okay.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Mike, this was supposed to be, one of the most grueling parts of your guys' schedule. Obviously, it hasn't turned out that way, but it seems like maybe the grind has been a little bit more mental for your group with all the extra time you had on the trip. Now you've had another game canceled. How do you think your team is kind of dealing with that grind and kind of dancing around these curveballs that are getting thrown at you?
I think every team has battled it at some time this year. So I think it's we've been lucky, obviously, that haven't had anything until this point. And we knew going into the season that it was going to be a weird one, and it was going to be, there was going to be some different points in the season when you don't really know what's going on. So I think it's just some adversity that every team's got to deal with, and there's going to be adversity going into the final games of the season and into the playoffs. So I think that the more mentally sharp you can be and strong you can be, it's only going to help out in the most important games.
Yeah, I mean, every game that gets moved is obviously going to be a crunch somewhere down the road. So I guess, is the focus just on really taking the rest when you can get it and taking advantage of a stretch where you don't have to play a ton of games because it's coming on the other end?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that's been talked about a little bit internally here, that who knows how many games we're really going to have to play, just judging by the schedule and how many games have been missed. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and getting the proper rest, but also playing, important hockey games. And with the uncertainty of, kind of the number that's going to get there by the end of the season. We want to have as many wins accumulated as possible. So I think it works both ways. Obviously, we can't look too far ahead and worry about the games at the end of the season. We got to worry about the ones that we can control, and that's the next one. So that's all we'll do.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
Mike, did you see tonight's game as the style of game, the type of game that you're going to need to play in the playoffs to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're seeing more and more of that. The more teams we play here, the standings are tightening up a little bit, and teams are, the points are so important. So I think as you get closer to playoffs, the games become more important, and the style of play changes a little bit to tighter games. Probably the team that makes the most mistakes is going to lose, and that's something we've been talking about, and make sure our minds are in the right place and we're playing the game the right way, and one that we can sustain going into playoffs and not just make the playoffs, but make some noise in the playoffs. So I think we're learning how to win the right way. We're learning how to do the little things it takes to be successful and be consistent, and it's showing in our play and it's showing where we are in the standings.
Thank you.